do I even begin? Maple Hospital, a hospital roleplay game where you can play either as a resident patient or part of the medical staff. It sounds all innocent and jolly until you realize what's beneath the surface of it all. From a short glance, Maple Hospital just seems like your wholesome but rather dramatic roleplay game where you can experience how life would be if you had certain conditions or illnesses such as deafness, allergies, cancer, etc. But the main problem behind it all is how people use these mechanics. Trust me, I play Maple Hospital too, so this information isn't coming from an outsider point of view. With the amount of new features the developers of the game are adding, there is now a wide variety of options to choose from being a prematurely born baby to pregnant. I honestly don't know how I felt about this game feature when it was announced. I was a bit taken aback as this was kind of a bold decision. The target demographic of Roblox is mostly kids, so teaching kids about pregnancy can go one way or another. They'll either be mature about it and learn from the game about pregnancy as they should, or they'll start fantasizing about being pregnant one day without giving it much thought. This feature sounds fine, but it just is kind of an ache. Pregnancy can be one of the most sensitive topics to talk about since the new craze of teen pregnancy and not being able to conceive. Of course, it is important for kids to eventually learn about this subject matter, but not when their fragile little brains are still learning that they can't eat slime. I'm sure that not everyone agrees with me, but sometimes waiting to teach kids these concepts should be awaited. And to be honest, shouldn't the parents of the kids teach them these concepts? I mean, you can't expect a game meant for pure enjoyment to raise your kids. In my opinion, I'm not really surprised with the uprise of coining the term Gen Alpha. I'm also a Gen Alpha, and yes, you can hate on me for that. Haha, she's an iPad kid, so funny, but I'm considered to be in the little crevice between Gen Z and Gen Alpha. In other words, I'm a part of the oldest of our generation. Do I buy skincare that I don't need? Sometimes. Do I spend lots of time on my phone? Well, how else would I know this information? But that's not the point. And to be fair, Gen Z and millennials have their own problems as well. But either way, Maple Hospital was created to not only teach the target demographic about these concepts of having illnesses and working a job, but the sole purpose is just to have fun. Isn't that the basis of all games? So maybe instead of shoving an iPad to your kid as soon as they pop out the womb isn't a good idea, and maybe you should actually spend time with your kid instead of swiping constantly on TikTok. Sorry, that's too mean of me, but honestly, it's true. Anyway, back to Maple Hospital. Pregnancy in Maple Hospital was a very well-conceived concept, as many players actually use this feature. I've used it once, and it was very awkward. There is the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, and fourth trimester. The game also added a twin feature, but what's more concerning is that now you can make other players the baby bump. Okay, that's just straight up weird. I'm not sure what happened, but I remember that there was a feature that you can break your water or whatever, but in recent times I haven't seen this. So I don't know if they got rid of it because it's just plain weird for a kid's game, or if it's hidden in the dark void of the millions of buttons on this game. But pregnancy isn't the only weird concept in Maple Hospital. Recently added was obesity. Obesity is also a sensitive topic, from the rise of childhood obesity and overconsumption. It doesn't help that mukbang channels like Nikocado Avocado promote this idea, but I'll cut them some slack for this video. Obesity in this game isn't very well produced. What I mean is, you become 10 times the size of a regular player, but honestly, it isn't just what you'd expect. In the game, not only is your whole body sewed up, but so is your head. It's not a pretty sight. And I'm not saying that obesity isn't a pretty sight. I'm talking about how Maple Hospital poorly represented them. On YouTube, a common discussion these days is not only Jojo Siwa's very, very interesting rebranding, but also the community of people called fat influencers. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a group of people who are overweight that encourage this kind of lifestyle. Now, it's good that they embrace their appearance, but not when they encourage you to keep eating this way, which can eventually lead to your unhealthy demise. People like Zoe Unlimited have discussed this, so if you want to see more discussed on that topic, please go check out her channel. Maple Hospital has its good times, but it definitely has its moments. A common characteristic of the role players in this game is that since you can only pick one illness or condition that you could have, you can't pick more. But like in Royal High, people are infesting their bios with Emily/cute/mute/deaf/blind/princess/has cancer/will die without a true love slash captain of cheerleader slash Jake is the only one who can save me, etc., etc. It's not that far off from Royal High's role players when it was in his peak gameplay, rest in peace Royal High, except instead of it just being lighthearted, people have begun to romanticize these illnesses. That's the biggest concern I have for this game. In the next, let's say 2 to 5 years, I'm sure that our Gen Alphas will start to romanticize the idea of having cancer, being pregnant, being obese, etc., and it won't be healthy. Gen Alpha already has their issues with exploited child TikTokers using retinol for their already perfect skin, and having an iPad shoved into their face as soon as they're born because their parents are too busy rot-maxing. But this will be the absolute lowest that our generation will plummet to. Like I said, I'm a Gen Alpha myself, so some of these things kind of make sense. But as our generation goes older, they're gonna grow up to be absolute jerks, and they're gonna think it's okay. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and put the notification bell on to see more content like this.